What is up, you guys? Illinois Outdoorsman, and today we're going to tie a woolly bugger. And this one happens to be in purple with a red head. So we're going to tie purple in a red head. So stay tuned. Alright, you guys, let me scoot back here. We're going to tie a woolly bugger today. I know my head's kind of out of the top of the frame, but we're going to tie a woolly bugger. I will leave the recipe right up here. But what you're going to need is a size 2. This is a big woolly bugger. This is more for largemouth, smallmouth, steelhead, predatory fish. So a number 2 straight shank. I just get normal length shank hook. This purple marabou, and this is to tie the purple one. You could, whatever color pattern you decide to tie, you can adjust colors accordingly. This is purple rooster saddles. I use 1/4 inch red anodized beads for the head. And then this is Midnight Fire, a black, blue, and a little bit of red chenille. And then I'm using a olive green just because it's dark. I don't have any black in this heavy stuff. This is 200 GSP thread. This is super heavy duty thread. I'll bend the hook before I break the thread, so I know that's not going to be a fail point. So let's get into tying this. Alright, so first thing, before you even put your hook in the vise, you got to get your head on here. So these are just an anodized head. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this. My balance on my finger isn't going to be the greatest. Yep, or you guys will just see it on the fly. How's that? Right here. A little 1/4 inch anodized bead. So when you put this on, the part of it that's going to be up against the eye, you're going to thread it through first so it follows the bend of the hook around. Get it on there. Bring it down. You'll end up just like that on the hook. Now you are ready to place this in your vise. I get it remotely close to level. Sorry guys. I'm back to using my old vise. I can crank on this one a little bit more than I can my other one. The other one is good for streamers, the big craft minnows I found. So what I do is I start right up against this eye, or this bead, and I'll work down a little bit. It'll kind of give me a start right up underneath that bead. I don't have to worry about it sliding around. Cut off the tag end, and what we're going to do is we're going to run this all the way back, and we're going to get right in front of the bend here. We'll put a couple extra wraps there and create just an ever slight little raised bump right there. And then we're going to go through, we're going to get our marabou feathers. So nice, pretty fan of purple. I usually get 2 because I end up cutting them off. And I don't want it to be super thin, but I don't want it to be overly thick because it's going to cause a lot of flotation. So you just kind of pick through. You're going to have good feathers, bad feathers in it. Feathers you can use that'll be better suited for a different fly than a bugger. So there's a lot of feather. It doesn't look like it. There is a lot of feathers in here. So pick out a couple. Sorry, you guys can hear the kids in the background. I kind of kicked them out. I kicked them out of my room here. My little man cave. So I've got, set this off to the side. I've got a couple that I like. They're smaller ones, so I've got like 3 in here, but it makes up a nice little tail here. So for my tail, I want to go twice the length of the hook shank. So I'll get it, measure it, that's where I'm going to set, and then I'll come up and I cut my tags to where they'll slide up underneath this anodized eye. So I'll cut them right off with the hook shank, or right off with the hook eye, because it gives me a little bit of structure right behind that bead to keep it secured. And then I'm going to go in, one loose wrap here, and it looks messy, so I jump forward, Do a couple more, jump forward, and it looks entirely messy. You can see I cut just a hair too long. So I'll come in, you see that piece sticking out right here. It's just a hair too long. Come in, cut those out, and it looks ungodly. Work your bead around, so now it's inside the bead. And this is also going to give us a little bit of a thicker profile on the body. It's not by much, but it's a little bit thicker. So now we don't worry about any of this because it's going to be inside the fly. You won't see it. You have your marabou back here. And next, we're going to go in and tie our chenille in. And this bag, I'm running low on it, so I'm not even going to bother cutting it. Move the trash can out of the way here. Maybe if it'll stay up. I don't need to dump it all over the floor. There's craft fur and feathers and everything in it. So I'm just going to leave this full length. Obviously, you don't need 2 feet of it for this fly. Take it, and we're just going to tie it in right here. And we're going to leave it hang off back here. Hanging off the back side of the vise here so it's up out of the way. Next, and if I'm not doing something, explaining something is good, guys, let me know. Drop it in the comments. Ask me where you want to be, what you're looking at, what issues you're having tying this. This bag of purple rooster saddles I actually got 2 different shades of purple, and I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it on camera. This is darker than this. So, but I found this one, a little bit lighter one's got a little bit better feathers in it. And we're going to go through, pick out a feather, and get it peeled out of there and get it cut off.
1,000,000
So that's those. So you get down here and you've got this real fluffy kind of stuff down here. We're not going to need that. So if you go and you just grab it, you can peel it right off and you'll expose the bottom of the feather here. So get that garbage right out of the way. And we're going to take that part of the feather that we just stripped and lay it down right on top of the shank of the hook. Get it tied in there, and now we're going to advance our thread forward. Then we can kind of catch some of those oddball things that were up here sticking out. So now our thread is up here at the front of the hook. So we're going to take our chenille and we're going to begin to wrap this and get this body built up. And I'll double layer, so I'll advance one with this because it is a little bit thinner of a chenille. Advance it and then come back one. And then advance it and come back one. Get up here, and this is really going to secure our bead here in just a second as we work our way forward. And when I get up to the bead, I'll go 2 or 3 wraps because I know it's forcing it inside the bead, so then our bead will not move. So now we're going to take our thread over and pull this piece of chenille out this way so you can capture it. And I'll go over twice, and then you can let it go. Come in, be careful not to cut your thread. Cut just the chenille off. So that's our extra. And we're gonna go in and tie this up just a little bit. So now our bead is locked in as well. So there's 2 ways you can tie this feather, and you can do it by hand or you can do it with what's called a hackle plier. When I get to the smaller feathers that are real thin, real delicate, I'll use these hackle pliers because you can get right under the vein of that feather and hold on to the vein. With these big rooster saddles, I don't worry too much about it. So you're going to take your feather, and right now it's sitting this way. We want it to turn 90 degrees. So if you turn it, it'll start to splay out. Get it this way, and then start to wrap it. And as it goes, you'll get some of these to chunk up. And then as you start to come forward, they will start to splay out. And then once they're tight, you can kind of thin them out and get them to open up on themselves instead of staying bunched together. Get over here, get 3 or 4 wraps in. Right now that's 4. So I'll bring it back under and then I'll hold it forward. I'm holding it up against that bead right now so it doesn't slip. And I'll come over, over, over. I'll capture this 3 separate times so I know I have it. So now we have this little piece sticking out right here. Come in here, boom. Cut just that little tip right off. And then take your fingers, you can kind of work this back. Get a couple more wraps and then pull down kind of tight. Get it sucked in there pretty good. Get it nice tight. Take your whip finisher. And do a 4 wrap whip finish. Pull your knot tight. And I don't know what I just knocked down. Yeah, I'm not sure what I just knocked down. It's probably a fly or something of some sort. I've got a bunch of flies I tied up here just sitting around. And that right there is how you tie a woolly bugger. We get these all nice and child thinks he's king of the dogs. Get that all splayed out, and then I rotate the camera here. You guys can see this head on. Looks just like that. Side profile. Boom. There is your purple with a red bead woolly bugger made for bass, steelhead, probably some good sized crappie. I mean, it's good for a multitude of size of fish. If you want to do a bluegill or panfish pattern, scale this down. Scale your hook size down. Scale, and then scaling your hook size down, you're going to scale your material down with it. So your marabou would be twice the length of your hook shank. Well, if you're running a smaller hook, you're going to be running less marabou. So, tip this back up. So if you guys like this video and you want to see more fly tying videos, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Drop a comment down below if you have any questions, comments, or see a fly or know of a fly that you want to see tied. We can for sure try and tie it. Make sure you guys follow me over on Facebook and Instagram. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And head over and check out my Etsy store. I'll leave it linked in the description down below. And until next time, I'll see you out there.